Anza-Borrego. It is not the new dish at the Mexican restaurant down the corner. Anza-Borrego is probably one of the best state parks in the United States. Anza comes from Juan Baptista Anza, who was a Spanish guy coming out of Mexico going into what is now California. Borrego means mountain sheep. Anza-Borrego is located all the way down at the bottom of California. It covers 10,000 square miles. It is some of the most beautiful country in the world. It has mountains, it has desert, it has waterfalls, it has two things that are very important. It has a terrific flower bloom in the spring when the flowers come out, and it is the best sky gazing place in the United States because there is no light pollution. Most of you do not know what the heavens look like because there is too much light around. So, why do I like Anza-Borrego? Because it was my training ground. It was my training ground for my Boy Scouts who I was trying to teach the merits of backpacking. Why is backpacking important? Here you have light, you have facilities, you have water, you have all this good stuff. When you go out to a place in Anza-Borrego, you don't have any of that stuff. Or you have water, occasionally, where there's an oasis, but they are rare. Other than that, everything that you have to survive, you have to carry on your back. 3 P's, planning. This is very important. This is one of the things I'm trying to get the boys involved with. 2, preparation. I had the 3 P's, I got it. Okay. And the other one is perseverance. If you've got a 30 or 40 pound backpack on your back and you're climbing up a 3 or 4 mile grade that's going from, say, 5,000 feet to 8,000 feet, that's a lot of work. Now, when you've got these little guys who are 12, 13, 14 years old, you have to be very careful with how much weight they can carry, because some of these guys, they only weigh 80 pounds, so you can't put a 40-pound back on them. So one of the things you have to do is, this is part of the planning, you have everybody pack their backpack, bring it in the day before, and then you weigh them with and without the backpack, then you have to take everything out of the backpack. And then you start doing sorting. Like, I don't think you need to bring your Nintendo with you. Or I don't think you need to bring this up. You just one utensil. If you have a spoon, you can eat. Okay? You don't need anything else. So the most important thing is water. And I'll get to that in a couple of minutes because that was something that I could have done a lot better job with. So anyway, so I get the boys, we got another guy, we have some people in a car pulled down to the beginning of the hiking place. By the way, this is part of the Pacific Crest Trail. If you're familiar with the Appalachian Trail, this is the same thing, except it's on the Pacific coast. It starts up in probably Canada, and it goes all the way down, just keeps going on down through Mexico, etc. Okay. So I get the boys, and we start, okay? And this is the desert, and it's hot. But one thing that's very interesting, there's a stream that runs through it. Now, when the stream is on the surface, there are all kinds of trees around it. It's an oasis. And actually, trees are very difficult to get through. Then it will dip down, and it'll be gone for miles and miles. So anyway, we get going, and then we come to a place we're going to camp. And this is very interesting because this is a desert, there's no lights, and we have our little backpacking tents, set them up, guys get in their sleeping bags, get in there, and then they start finding out that in the middle of the night, they may have to use the facilities. The facilities are basically the sand. So that means they have to go out in the dark, in the night. And I you know, they had some reservations about this. But one thing about a group of boys, 12 to 14 years old, what do you think they talked about at night and drove me nuts until I had to shut them up? What do you think they talked about? They talked about girls. And they were so dumb, I could not believe it. They were dumb at 12, they will be dumb at 22, they will be dumb at 32. I heard them saying things about girls that like, you guys better get a book on anatomy or something. It was just incredible. Anyway, I want to tell you what the bad part was. I was very careful about the water, because the water is basically not good if they don't have enough water. And I was not monitoring them how they were drinking the water. And a lot of them get thirsty and they basically empty their canteen. Then he come to me and said, Mr. Hall, do I have any more water? Okay, we got about 4 more miles across this desert, and there's no more water, and I'm gonna have to start thinking about what to do. Can I share my water with them? No, because I have to be the big boy, all right? So got everybody together, see how much water we had, then we had to make a decision. So I talked to my assistant scoutmaster and said, okay, we're gonna camp, we're gonna stay here, we had some shade. And I said, one of us gonna have to take off, and we did have a map, and we have about 4 miles, and we just gotta get down there because it's a Jeep road, and just hope to God that there's some guys, you know, playing around with their Jeeps. Which fortunately they were. But I was really scared, because if I had lost any of those boys, it wouldn't be good. But the guys in the Jeeps came roaring back up. They had water, they had beer too, which and they were actually very nice, and they actually gave us a ride down to the place that people were going to pick us up. So I have very fond memories of Anza-Borrego, and I still think that backpacking is a great way to teach people some really basic skills, and especially young men, so they know they can lay out in the desert overnight, and you know nobody's going to come and get them. Maybe a tarantula, maybe a scorpion, maybe a rattlesnake. But no, it was really, like I said, it was my training ground for these young men. He's already made fun of my hat. See, because he was in the Army, they didn't have cool hats. They had helmets. You know why they had helmets? Because they had really hard hats. Anyway, and I was telling him why I love this hat. Because you could get it wet when it was really hot, and that would like actually cooler, put it on your head. So, you laugh all you want.